Hello. Today I'm working on a 2018 Ford Escape. It's got the faulty transmission light on, also the service transmission. So we're going to go ahead and do a transmission flush, and it's about due for an oil change. So we're going to do that first. Um, we're going to get it up in the air, and I'll show you where the drain plug is, and we'll go from there. Okay, we got it up in the air, and your first step is going to be to take a T30 star or Torx bit. And you're going to want to go ahead and take these screws out of the splash guard, so that way you can get at the bottom of the transmission. Okay, now once you go ahead and get the panel off the bottom, you can see on the bottom of the transmission next to this sticker right here's the drain plug. It's going to be an 11 millimeter, and when you drain it, make sure you drain it in a pan that has no other liquid in it, so when it comes out you can measure it to know exactly how much to put back in. All right, we're going to pull the plug. As you can see, this transmission fluid is black. Definitely needs to get changed. Once it's done draining, I'm going to go ahead and dump it in some gallon jugs so I can measure it. Okay, once it's pretty much done draining, take your drain plug, and this piece on the end of it is a magnet. So inspect that for shaved metal shavings and stuff like that. That's going to let you know how your training's doing. You know, if it's full of metal, you know it's not doing so good. But if it's clean like this, you know it's okay. Also with the fluid, when you dump the fluid into the containers to measure it, look in the bottom of the pan, make sure there's no metal in there or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put this drain plug back in and measure the transmission fluid. Okay, so a little bit of metal came out in the pan, but not horrible. When I shine my flashlight in here, you can see we're at a little over 4 quarts, maybe 4.5. So then we know pretty much how much to put back in it. So I'm going to let it down, show you where the fill hole is, and we'll get some training fluid back in it. Alright, once you get the drain plug back in, come back to the top here, and I put these needle nose on the clamp. I'm going to pull that cap off, and that's where the fluid goes in. Once you go ahead and put the same amount of fluid in, you're going to want to bring the car up to operating temperature, like 180 degrees. And then when you do that, you're going to want to lift it up. And I'll show you when I do it, but right there underneath the axle on the transmission, there's a plug. Once it's already at operating temperature, pull that plug, and it should barely trickle out the hole. Once it does that, that's the leveling procedure. It's going to tell you that you got enough fluid in it. But make sure it's at operating temperature before you check that. Okay, so I went ahead and put 4 quarts in. A little over 4.25 is about what came out of it. So now I'm going to leave it running. Once it gets up to operating temperature, it's going to go up, and I'll show you where the fluid level inspection is. It's down by the axle on the driver's side. We'll look at it here in a minute when this thing warms up. Okay, so I went ahead and brought it up to operating temperature. Now right on the bottom, here, give me a second. Right on the bottom, if you see that bit, this is a 2018. This is going to be your level inspection plug. Once it's warm, go ahead and raise it up, pull that plug out, and it should trickle out the hole if you got enough transmission fluid in it. So I already broke it loose. I'm going to go ahead and loosen it, see what comes out, and we'll go from there. All right, there we have it. So the fluid came out the drain plug, and I just tightened it up, cleared the codes. It's good to go. So there you go. That's how you do it on 2018 Escape 1.5 liter EcoBoost Turbo.